Hi, Fashion Dolls. TGIF. Happy Friday. It is finally Friday, October 20th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today has been on the show previously, and we did this interview back in 2022. But he's here today so that we can catch up on things. It's been so much in the news going on involving us as LGBT people, and I would love to talk about these issues and get down to the bottom of it. Also, next week we will be on Tete a Tete Tuesday, so make sure you guys tune in for that. The lineup will go up, and make sure you guys go and vote for your favorite look of the week. It is with 3 looks, so make sure you guys go and vote for your favorite look of the week. So I'm about to go ahead and send this live on over. Well, Bubs is here, so get right into it. Hello,
What's going
hello.
on? Hello, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How have you been?
I am good. I'm low-key tired. I had to wake up early today and get some things done, but I am happy to be here nonetheless. What's going on, Aaron? What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all
Aaron,
doing?
hi everyone. Welcome. We did our last conversation, I want to say, back in 2022,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
and we talked about a number of things. And it's been so much that has been going on in the news as well recently,
Yes.
too, that we
Yes.
could talk about. I didn't get a chance to come into live last night. I was asleep when you went on. You went on late.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was so much happening. So before we get into that, how has the year been for you so far? Because I know my
Hmm.
30th birthday is coming up,
Okay.
so I'm excited about that. So how has 2023 been for you so far?
For me, it's been a very transformative year. Really more so mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I am really learning what it means to walk by faith, and it can be a challenge. It can be a struggle, but I'm learning how to find my own power, and I'm grateful because I know that the evolution, the upgrade is on its way. So I'm just preparing myself so that when it does happen, I can not only maintain it, but like help to grow and evolve and to share my overflow of love with other people who are willing to receive it. So it's a faith-based year for me. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the same here. For me, it's been a growing
Right.
experience, just stepping outside, pushing the norms,
Mm-hmm.
and even more vocal because I created a vision board. I think we talked about that the last time we were here. I created a vision
Yes.
board,
Mm.
and I said one of the things that I wanted to do going into the new year was daring, taking
Yeah.
risk, and being even more
Yeah.
bolder, career standpoint wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that it's definitely taking a toll and having impact on
Yeah.
stand up and speak up for even more issues because this year for LGBT people has been I must say this, been a hell of a year,
Yeah.
and it's nonstop. So
Right.
what? Let's get right
Mm-hmm.
into it. It's been a number of things that have been happening this week,
Mm-hmm.
from the incident with Young Jock on the radio station. Now, I'm going to give my thoughts
Mm-hmm.
on that because the first person who was asked about that question was Bootsy, and we all know how Bootsy thinks and feels. The question I want to ask you, Bubs,
Mm-hmm.
is why is it that straight people feel as though we are trying to approach them or come onto them? And it's just like we could be moving along, doing our thing, but I think it's out of fear. And they
Yeah.
just like, what do you mean? I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. And I said this to my co-host on Ted Ted. You don't want to be called transphobic or homophobic because you know it's going to affect your back. And we seen what happened with the baby when he got up there on the Rolling Loud stage and said exactly what he said. And he doubled down on it. And you had outlets like I think Out Magazine and so many reach out to him to say, hey, let me take the time to educate you. He refused to turn them down. I wouldn't even extend an olive branch to get him to come and learn.
Right.
Now, the most recent, I don't even watch Fox, so I've seen clips of that as well
Mm-hmm.
too. I must say this in regards to Funky
Mm-hmm.
Dinero. He's been called out on misogyny for years
Mm-hmm.
and leaning more towards a whiteness. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, when you get in this business, when you get into this industry, this entertainment industry, never forget where you came
Yeah.
from and the ones that have helped you
He
get to
black
where
like
you're
this, but not black like this.
right.
Got you, got you. That's his saying, but got you.
And Hope Giselle touched on it as well too. I watched her live, and she really dug into the whole young jock
Mm-hmm.
situation. We know that hip hop is deeply rooted in homophobia. And I've had a conversation with a few rappers that are in the LGBTQ community, Bugs Gutter, who I love dearly, and
Mm-hmm.
Earth Tone. And we talked about homophobia in hip hop and
Mm-hmm.
how dangerous it is to
Yeah.
LGBT artists like the Lil Nas X's, like the Salty
Santana's.
Santanas,
Mm-hmm.
artists who are completely open and feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that you have such an issue with people embracing their femininity
Mm-hmm.
and coming into their own? That is a problem that the straight community really needs to work on, the black
Yeah.
straight community.
Yeah.
And it's a couple times where I'm just like, okay, I'm done with both races, because it's like I can be damned if you do, be damned if you
You
don't.
don't.
You're
Right.
going to get racism over here on the white side. You're going to have your own people trying to oppress you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just say, you know what? I consider myself an alien at this point. Yeah, you guys see me as a black woman, but I might as well be an alien because you're not willing to learn my experience as a trans woman. You automatically assume that we're trying to come onto you or we're trying to trick men. And it's just like, do you know how many trans women are out that have been unalived out? We just recently, and you're live the last time. That's why I said I can't watch. I seen the
Yeah.
clips because I think it was King Jobs that posted the video first.
Okay.
And when you played it, you said this is going to be, you gave a trigger
Yeah.
warning. You said, okay, this, you're trans. I had to leave. I couldn't watch it.
Right.
But everybody else, Rocky resumed, they watched it. And I came back in. I said, you never know what a person is battling and what a person is going through. And
Mm-hmm.
this young lady that got attacked in that video, she was battling drug addiction.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that until
Me
Hope
either.
Giselle spoke about it on T.S. Madison's
With the
platform,
update.
the
Mm-hmm.
legist in the update.
Mm-hmm.
So for these men to go out here, they're her pushers. They're providing this stuff to her. It goes to show you how straight black men think. And then there's some black women out here that feel as though trans women, we are trying to take something away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And T.S. Madison said it, and I said it not too long ago on Ted a Ted. It's
Mm-hmm.
misdirected anger.
Yeah.
Your anger should be with the people who have stripped away both of our rights as LGBT people
That's
and
right.
as black people and as women. So if you should be mad at anybody, your anger should be directed at the people who took away your rights to your body.
Mm-hmm.
That's who
Mm-hmm.
you should be mad at. It's not us,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
because we're
And
not a
I
monolith, and we know that.
mhm. And I do want to say this because, again, like you said earlier, that this year is starting to become very dangerous for queer people, and in particular, queer people of color. And if we even get into more of the particular, or the, it's trans women of color. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I do the best that I can. I even said it on my live that I did in reference to Hope Giselle, that even as a same gender loving man, I'm still learning about the rest of the community.
I
You know what
remember
I
you saying.
mean? So it's kind of like not only do not only am I going to be educated, I'm going to be learning as well. So it's kind of like I remember I was watching the live that she did in reference to Conscious Lee and was saying like we appreciate you being able to be the bridge to get us in those spaces to have those conversations, but you have to remind yourself that you are the bridge. That's it. You're just a bridge. That's it. Because there, it's going to be difficult for them to listen to people like us because we're living the experience. So Conscious Lee is using his privilege to be able to, extend the conversation or whatever. But when Hope Giselle said, when that happens, we need y'all to step back and allow the people who are living that experience to tell their story. So I want to say, first of all, thank you for all that you have done. I've been seeing you working. I may not be able to catch everything because, life is life, but I always make sure to like, and you be doing your thing. And like you said, you're learning to live in your boldness, in your truth. And it's okay to feel like an alien because according to the narrative of Christ, he felt the same way too. Look what they did to him, and all he was doing was just loving. In reference to Young Jock and just homophobia and stuff like that, divine masculine is not being attacked. It's toxic masculinity that's being attacked. Or shall I say being addressed. And when you have privilege, a critique is going to feel like an attack. So now they're seeing what's happening when they end up being ignorant, and now they deal with the repercussions. Beforehand, they didn't want to deal with that. They didn't want to have all that happening because they wanted to feel like they were in control. And they've actually hurt the community. We can pull up all the stats, all the statistics, all of the facts, all of the news articles, all of the video evidence. We can pull everything up to prove it. And even queer people have done that. We are getting to a point to where there are people who just simply don't want to learn. And instead of queer people being stuck in that, it's kind of like, well, fuck it, we're going to live our life regardless. Now, what I feel like we as queer people need to do to combat all this shit, because it's really accountability time for everybody. It's self-accountability time for everybody, not just heterosexual people, not just black men. It's for all of us. Can we survive that? And queer people and oppressed people, if there's one saving grace that we all have, we know how to survive. And some of us know how to thrive. T.S. Madison is a prime example. Yes, she had to do sex work in order to survive, but she was a smart businesswoman and was able to turn that around to make it work for her, to where it was straight niggas having sex with her on film, signing it off. And then years down the line, can you please take that off? My pastor done found out. My mama done found out. These people done found out. But you played a role in it too. But we also understand that queerphobia and homophobia and transphobia, all the phobias, people are not willing to get rid of their fear. No matter how much education you put out there to alleviate it, they're going to hold on to it. So I think what the oppressed people need to do, and it might be scary, but at this point, we need to find a way to defend ourselves. Find a way to protect yourself. If you can get a knife, get you a firearms, hand-to-hand combat self-defense, protect yourself. You don't have to become a statistic. What's going to happen if, or maybe how I feel sometimes, and it's sad it has to get to this point and then I'll be done, but I feel like it's going to have to take queer people changing the narrative. Instead of trans woman was attacked by her attackers, trans women survived her attack from her attackers by unaliving all five of them. Maybe it has to go down that route. So, I mean, at this point, we give y'all the information. Y'all telling us that y'all want to choose war. And if it has to be war, it has to be war. But we're going to do it in the realm of self-defense. And to be honest, age of Aquarius, age of the feminine energy, it's on our side. So you might not want to try it. So, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Absolutely. And you touched on toxic masculinity. Yeah. That is a thing that harms the Black community.
Yeah.
Because Black men growing up have been taught, oh, well, no, you don't cry. Don't cry. You look soft if you cry. Don't show no emotion. Keep it all bottled up inside. And another prime example of that is, I didn't touch on it any this week. I completely had to mute notifications when I seen everything going on with Blueface and Krishan. I just can't watch that. It's too toxic. So she goes out here and she puts out a statement saying that I had to be the man and the woman in the relationship because I'm going to turn down my feminine ways because I don't want my son growing up soft. Something to that extent. And my thing is this, what's wrong? And I said this on the show last week. What is wrong with letting your child find their own identity instead of you trying to shove and force feed what you want it or believe is right in your eyes when that's not what they naturally want? Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that?
And they're conflating queer children who need queer representation with this fear-based ideology of, oh, you're trying to make my child queer. No, there are some of us who survived our childhood that was fucked up, and we understand that the next generation is going through that. And on top of that, the same bullies that bullied us when we were younger are now the adults of today who are saying, keep that away from my children so you can continue this cycle of shit. Okay, then, well, when these queer kids start fucking y'all kids up, I don't want to hear shit. I don't hear nothing. And then on top of that, when we decide that we kind of want to give a clap back, all of a sudden now y'all want to have congressional hearings and I feel disrespected and even though I'm a woman, a female, and I talk to trans women and say you'll never be this, you'll never be that, but when a trans woman clap back, Oh my
This is
God,
what,
it's an attack
yeah,
on
they give
women.
the comments
It's an
and they'll
attack on
say,
women. Keep your
you,
motherfucking mouth shut. Maybe you wouldn't have that shit happen to you. At this
that,
point, like T.S. Madison said, man, woman, child, dog, cat, any alien, everybody getting it.
my point exactly. And then they go to the extent of saying, "Oh well, you want to be me. You're mad because you can't be me." They give it to gay, effeminate gay men, and they
Mm-hmm,
give it to trans women as well
mm-hmm,
too. It's the
mm-hmm.
same old recycle thing. I even see clips on Bigo, and I could just be scrolling on YouTube and something pop up and somebody gonna say something ignorant, and they'll say, "Oh well, you'll never be me. You want to be me. You a man in a wig. Oh, you know you got to." First of all, let's clear this up. I don't want to have kids. I
Mm,
don't. I'm 30 years old, and
mm-hmm.
I've just gotten in tune with my sexuality, my
Right.
sensuality, and my femininity. And I've
Mm-hmm.
learned to embrace it because for years I've been so constricted in a box of people telling me, no, that's wrong,
Right.
that's wrong. Growing up
Right.
in the Christian household. Bubs here, when Bubs was here the last time, we talked about how he told his story of coming out with his parents and how they felt
Mm-hmm.
on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not easy for people to come out and live their truth. And the reason why is because of issues like this. This is exactly why DL culture exists. Because
Right.
the black
Right.
community will disown black men if they come out or if they get seen with a trans woman like
Mm-hmm.
myself or a T.S. Madison or a Laverne or any woman. The
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
black community, we already know how it is in general. They will disown them
Yep.
because it's wrong in their eyes. Oh, you dating another man? And then there's the video of the trans woman getting attacked for going into the store. Shout outs to Mick, Original
Mm-hmm.
Magazine UK.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys go and follow her. And I'm one of the writers for the fashion column for Original Magazine UK. So shout outs to Mick for
Come
giving me
on
that
now.
amazing
Yes.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I love about this publication is that it's so inclusive. Mick didn't discriminate.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted a black woman that had a sense of style, that had grace, and she chose me. Out of all the women she could have had to write for this publication, she chose me. And it just goes to show you that the world is changing, times are changing and evolving. And down here where I'm at in South Carolina, people have such a, how can I say it, a closed off mind.
Yeah.
It's like they only see the world one way, but
Yeah.
the world is changing. Times are changing. We have to worry about pronouns. But we were touching on toxic
Yeah.
masculinity and how dangerous it
Mm-hmm.
is in the community. And I see a lot of people, I'm not even going to touch on it. I've seen so many videos. I'm tired of seeing it, to tell you the truth. Jada Pinkett Smith. I said, would the energy be different if it was a man? Would the energy be different if it was a man? Because I see
Mm-hmm.
a lot of you men are up in arms about what she's doing, but what you do is okay. It's the double standard. It's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's mixed in patriarchy, it's mixed in misogyny, and all of these things go up under the umbrella of what toxic masculinity because you would rather have control over a woman. Key word
Yeah.
when Will Smith got up there and went on that stage, he said, "My wife."
Mm-hmm.
Go and read between the lines when somebody say, "That's my wife, that's my woman, that's my bitch,
Mm-hmm. Mine.
that's
That's
the
mine.
property, that's black men, that's some straight black men, not all of you, but
Mm-hmm.
some of you have that mindset where it's just like we're your property,
Mm-hmm.
we're your property, and it's about ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, consent as well too. I didn't consent to it. When we reject you or turn you down, the first thing you want to do is unalive us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck you then, bitch. You wasn't even cute
Oh
anyway.
yeah,
Oh, you delusional. You're delusional, nigga. Thank you. I dodged a bullet. Thank you, Beyonce. Like, what?
we're
Wow.
unattractive to
Mm-hmm.
you. We're ugly to you. You wasn't that cute anyway. It's a video literally of three women and they were at a restaurant and this guy walked up to the table and approached them and he chased them with a firearm, chased them through the restaurant. This is on what's her name? Paris Milan. I watched her too on YouTube. And she showed the video and I said, really? That's what we're doing now in 2023? On God's green earth, that's what we're doing. We're
Mm-hmm.
chasing women because we turn you down and we say no. And it's even dangerous in the LGBTQ community
Yeah.
for us as well too. There's a lot of domestic violence. There's a lot of things that don't get talked about in our community.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, my main issue is tackling homophobia and trying to get straight people, our allies, to understand that transphobia and homophobia and biphobia affects you also.
Yes.
There was a incident that happened where a woman had a pride flag outside of her store and she lost her life just for being an ally. So I'm just like transphobia affects you too.
I think there was a report as well where there was a cisgender biological female who was unalived because she was assumed to have been trans.
Yes.
Like you said, like this shit is deeper than what we really wanted to. It's really deeper than what we think it is. That's why it's important for us to come together and talk this shit out, because you touched on the main thing that I really try my best to like really hint at all the time, which is this is the human thing. We are all oppressed. We are all fighting each other, and the powers that be want that to happen while they can do what they want to do to all of us behind the scenes, and we're making it easier. And for Black people, and let me just say this, it's probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but it's true. Black people, we don't own the patent on discrimination. We don't. Were we the blueprint for this country in reference to that? Of course. But now that blueprint has been applied to women, been applied to queer people, all this type of stuff been applied to it. So, but the only way we're going to get to that point is we're going to have to really come together and really have conversations for real, for real. And on my platform, I've been trying to do that. I've been going in spaces that's predominantly heterosexual, predominantly Black, predominantly Christian, predominantly nuclear family only, trying to have a conversation. And when we're not in the room, it's all this horrible stuff. But then when we come into the room, all of a sudden, now you're trying to defend your viewpoint because you know you're queer phobic and you know we see it. Let me tell you something. If the oppressed is going to know more about their goddamn oppressor because they understand what it feels like. So they're going to be able to pick up on things. And if I am a same gender loving person of color, if I can understand the energy of racism outside of me, and I can understand that energy of queer phobia in the Black community, I'm telling you energetically, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same thing. We also have to accept the fact too that there are some people who simply don't want to learn, and God's source universe is going to have to deal with them. This is the time for queer people to say fuck it and rise in who you are, but also protect yourself, because all that queer phobia stuff, like you just said, is fear. It's fear. And if queer people and trans women and gay feminine men really wanted to play it dark like y'all say they wanted to, they would have exposed all of y'all. And even Hope Giselle said it. If a lot of trans women did have a woman were able to get pregnant and found out that you were the father and had your ass on Maury, a lot of y'all wouldn't even be on the face of this earth anymore. Because how can you combat that? You can't say she tricked you. You can't say she lied. No, she played. I didn't know. Ski Yee, you lied like a motherfucker. You knew. You knew. But see, a lot of men end up, unfortunately, not having any emotional control, which is why they can't control their emotions sexually, because that's the energy as well, which is why they go out here and they create this whole type of broken thing. Like I remember on one of the panels I was on, somebody hit the nail on the head in reference to their interpretation. Well, all of this stuff that's happening is because the man and the woman are falling out with each other. Okay, then what you're saying is that y'all dropped the ball according to your logic. So if you want to fix it, start with yourself first instead of trying to change us to make y'all feel better. And I'm not going back into the closet. There is no closet. The closet has been blown up. It's going to be life or death. We already survived death. I'm going to choose life. I hope you do the same thing. So don't fuck with me if you choose your life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to be on that energy. Like, educate the people who want to be educated, and the ones who don't, call them queer phobes, give them the motherfucking smoke. And if they want to be physical with your ass, show them that we can do it too. And probably do it better.
And I think young jocks comments about, oh, we're looking at you with lustful eyes. Um, I think
You
he's
like a
getting a
stud,
taste
you like
of what
Lunel. You look like Lunel, girl. Corey Holcomb. Look like a busted can of biscuits. And T.S. Madison read him for filth. And on top of that, and let me just say this, I'm not trying to be vain, but it always be the individuals who are very unattractive that say this. Like, why are you flattering yourself that much to think that I would want you in that way? When you over here built like my goddamn grandmama. What are you talking about? All right. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, it it's disgusting. Like you think that we're literally LGBT people are sitting front row at Pride, and when it's going down comes on, like Hope said, that's the first thing that runs through our mind. No, no, we want to dance. We're not looking at any other thing other than that. But I think you're getting a taste of what we as LGBT people get when we walk into the room or when we walk into spaces. It's uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good, does it? When the shoe is on the other foot, it
That
doesn't.
part.
Does
That,
it feel good when the shoe is on the other foot? And also, you get a taste of what women go through
yes.
when they reject you or turn you down
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes. Yes.
You're getting a taste of that as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel good, does it? But what really got me is that LGBT people, we are undefeated. That person, whoever found that clip of you resurfacing at performing at Pride, it came out.
Age of accountability. What's done, we're living in the age where what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. A wise mystic once said, and it's true, just expose yourself. Just go ahead and live your truth. Live it. Because if you don't, people will try to write the narrative for you and the world will believe it. Fuck all that. Live your truth. T.S. Madison, like, these people be ignoring trans women who are fighting against the odds and are making it. T.S. Madison has transformed her life to where it's like you can't make her feel bad. You can't make her feel bad because she knows who she is. But she also understands that there are other individuals in the community who may not, who are still growing in their self-love, or they don't know what to do. Because even the representation that are healthy or that is transformative, y'all don't care about that. It's still queer. And what makes it dangerous is that over in Uganda and Africa, they passed a bill called the Kill the Gays Bill. Basically, that's what the bill is. That was a Christian bill that came from America over there. And I think they had their arrest about almost a month ago, their first arrest ever. I would be a fool to not believe that that can't happen here when there are laws that are being put in place. That's why I'm saying, like, the reason why history tends to repeat itself is because I feel like we continue to do the same thing. We have to do something different this time. They're banking on us to do the same thing. If we have been doing this shit since the 60s and 70s, and you got niggas who literally was aligning themselves with queer people like Huey P. Newton, who is on record saying in an interview, the leader, one of the original leaders of the Black Panther Party, saying, well, I want to work with the politically minded women's liberation group and queer liberation group. Fred Hampton was like getting black people, Hispanic people, all types of people, and they killed them. They took them out. And this is what happens when we don't become leaders in ourselves. They'll find our leaders and kill them. And say you can't escape. The reason why we can't escape is because we don't know who we are. But then y'all judge the people who went through hell and survived. That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, at least Christ did the same thing in the Bible. Before he ascended into heaven, he descended into hell. Now it's time for y'all to go to hell. We survived. So guess what? Y'all will survive too. But again, when you're privileged, you don't, you, it's just, they'll learn. They'll learn. We just got to live our lives. That's it.
Uh, and I'll say this. This is today's final thought that just goes right along with what Bubs just said. It's a quote from Wayne Dyer. It says, the highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. So we need to be willing and have an open-mindedness. T.S. Madison said that on her interview with Tamron Hall.
Yeah.
We need to have an open-mindedness. Sit down and talk to someone and have a conversation with them other than just judging them based off of their sexual
Right.
orientation. And I have family members that don't even know about me, Bub. So that's scary for me too. I told my mom, and she's still learning about pronouns. And she's getting it slowly but surely. So I have to remind her, I have to give her a little tap on the shoulder, like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
mom, you got it right.
Yeah.
So whenever we talk, it's an amazing dialogue
Yeah.
between us.
Yeah.
There are other family members of mine that are becoming more aware as
Mm-hmm.
I speak and become more transparent with them.
Right.
But to the rest of the world, even on this platform here, I've had guests come on and ask me, what are your preferred pronouns?
Mm-hmm.
So it starts, that's how it should start. It should start that way by you asking people instead of just going off of what you
Yeah.
assume that they are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
sometimes some people don't know. But to the ones that are willing to stay stuck, and we're telling you over and over again, like the baby, like Bootsy, um, like Young Jock,
Mm-hmm.
and Scrappy. Scrappy is another one too. What really got me is how knowledgeable you were on colorism, which is something that I talk a lot about on my platform
Mm-hmm.
here. But
Right.
when it comes to homophobia, you basically just you kind of dismiss it, you kind of shrug it off. The person called into the radio station that Jock works
Mm-hmm.
at and literally was trying to educate him and tell him how dangerous your statement alone was. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just like he wasn't trying to hear it. So it's like when it comes to talking to straight people, heterosexual black men that are stuck in their own reality, that are not willing to learn,
Right.
that are not willing to educate themselves about pronouns, about what you can do to be a great ally
Mm-hmm.
to the LGBTQ community.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck in your ways.
Right.
And those people can stay right there where they're at. Thank you for showing me who you are because you are teaching me
Right.
what type of people I need to avoid and what type of people I can keep my nieces and nephews around because my family has love. That's
Mm-hmm.
one thing that we've learned growing up is
Right.
love. And if you were taught hate, you can keep that over there.
Exactly. 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 I mean, I, I, it just warms my heart to know that there are other people within the queer community who are actually doing the work and you can see it. So
Yeah.
every time I'm around those individuals, I always make sure to love and affirm on them. But I do have a question because I know you said that was the final thought. So I know we had to wrap this up because I
No,
know I get
we
very
can keep on.
passionate. But let me ask you this: what do you feel like you need, or what do you feel like you would need Black queer men to do to help make it a safer space for our trans sisters? Like, what are some critiques that you would give to queer Black men so that I can go on my channel and kind of share that as well?
You do an outstanding job, and I always give you so much praise. I know you don't catch. I've
Right.
been bragging about you this whole week. I
Thank you.
said, Bubs is coming on Friday. Bubs is coming on Friday. So you are one of my love bugs, and
Thank you.
I love how you handle and you touch on certain things. To go on Black Men Unfiltered, I said I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even Conscious TV, Conscious, if you and Conscious are willing to have conversations with these who are conservative and Black, like a I cannot remember his name. He came on your show a few weeks back. I cannot remember. Um,
The only
It'll
person
come
that
back
comes
to
on,
me.
the only
Yeah.
person that comes on my panel that's someone from Black Men Unfiltered sector over there.
No, he's a conservative. Ron
Oh,
Bugatti.
Ron, yeah,
Yes.
Ron.
To be able to have conversations with people like that. What I would love for Black queer men within our community is I noticed that there's a division between Black trans women and Black queer
Right,
men, and it's like
right.
a rift. It's like we're at the bottom of the totem pole, and we're in a crabs in a bit, we're crabs in a barrel mentality, and we're keep pulling each other down. I've seen it on Bigo, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
why can't we get together and just we're all up under the umbrella of homophobia or transphobia? Why can't we come together as a whole and work together and tackle this all of the adversity that we're working?
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to see is more queer men within our community stand up for us as trans Black women. If you can do it for a JT or Carisha or the City Girls, you can do the same for Laverne Cox. You can do the same for Amaya Scott. Uh, the young Black woman who was attacked, Yana Dior. You can do it for
Mm-hmm.
us too. You can do it for a Miss Stevie.
Yeah.
You can do it for us.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't feel safe with some of them. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. And that's the first time you've ever heard me say that because people might think I'm the boldest, bravest person there is. But no, I get scared. I'm
Mm-hmm.
terrified, to be exact, because I'm in South Carolina, and there was a young black woman who was of trans experience who lost her life down here, Regina Brown, and she was a
Mm-hmm.
hairstylist of mine. She colored my hair, and
Wow.
the first time I met her, I had no idea until I read the story years later. I said, whatever happened to her? Because I ran back, I went to go back and check and tell her how good of a job the last time I went to the mall that she worked at. She lost her life. And this is down here in the Carolinas. Regina Brown is her name. And she lost her life. So it's happening all throughout the parts of South Carolina. And of course, the news don't report. The
Mm.
news outlets never cover it.
Or if they do, they misgender. They don't really know how to handle it with
Dead
care.
name.
And if it is shared on social media, we just look at the comments, and the comments speak for themselves. Like, what do we
Shade
got to lie
Room,
for?
Shade Room, Jasmine Brand. What's the other one? It's on site. I never go in those comments. Shout outs to Rory and my mentor, Miss Melody XOXO. They said, have you read the comments? I said, I never go in those comments. I literally unfollowed Shade Room, It's on Site, and Jasmine Brand. Because I read some of the comments. Oh, that could never be me. That they trying to trick him. They doing
Mm.
misgendering, dead naming. For my mental health, I tune out certain
Right,
things. I mute certain things. I unfollow certain things
right.
because I already know how black people are programmed.
Yeah,
You're
unfortunately.
not willing to move forward. You're willing to stay stuck in the stone age where you're at. And it's that same thing that is going to hold us all back. But I mean, look at what's going on in the government right now, in the courts. It's literally, and I said this last time with Manny, I said it's going to be a circus when this man gets into the courtroom. Republicans are going to try to do everything possible to affect all of our lives, not just
Mhm.
LGBT people, but us as black people as a collective. So just know that it's misdirected anger. That's where we need to put it towards,
Right,
not our
right,
own people.
right.
You're mad at me because I'm breathing, I'm living, and I'm existing, and men compliment me and tell me how beautiful I am, and you go out here and you misgender me. And I've had that happen before.
Mm.
Luckily, it hasn't really been as bad as it is in the past, but people understand now because I explain and I'm an open book to them and becoming more transparent and being upfront. So what I want from black men that are in the LGBTQ community, in the words of Rihanna, pull up. Because we are always at the front lines for you. Pull up for us. Hope Giselle, all of us are on the front line out here advocating for you. And the ones
Mhm.
out here that are lusting after these so-called trades, because I touched on this last episode of Tete a Tete. If you're willing to go back into the closet, be my guest. But
Mhm.
to the ones out here that are faithfully living and existing and breathing in their truth and just being who they are, comfortable in their own skin, more
Mhm.
power to you. But
Yeah.
I'm not willing to stay hidden and be someone's secret or someone's fetish, all at the stake of not being happy. Because
Right. And
living a lie is
Mhm.
miserable. Living the truth is beautiful. And I
Yeah.
choose to live in my truth. For years, I have not been happy.
Mhm.
And now I must say, at 30, about to be 30 years old, I'm the happiest I've ever been
As you should.
because I fully understand who I am. And
As you
I've
should.
had to hide it for so long. But our parents peep everything. Our parents know everything. And to the parents out here, because I know a lot of parents watch the platform as well too, let your child decide before they even come out the womb, welcome them with love. And then as they get older and they discover themselves, let them come into their own identity. Don't try to force feed. That's just like, I don't really talk a lot about religion on the platform, but I noticed that some of you that are Bible thumpers for sure really try to force feed religion. Oh, you've got red hair today, you're
Mhm.
going to hell. You're
Mhm.
wearing leather or latex, you're going to hell. Um, what about
But we
some of the
recruit
people
no.
that,
But
yeah,
we but with the crib, but we recruit no. Y'all not. But we are. Right. Gosh.
it's
Gosh. Gosh. You
okay. You
proceed.
can have children out of wedlock. And you know, you can do that. You can steal. You can cheat. You can do all of these things. You can have more than one wife because the Bible talks about adultery, and I know how much y'all love to throw that book at us
At
for
this
any
point, we all
privilege
going to
we
hell.
get.
We all going to hell, bitch. You ready? You packed your bags. We all going, and it's okay because if you actually read the Bible and actually read the stuff that Jesus did, not just Leviticus and Matthew and all the other shit, those are stories about their encounter with the divine. Christ comes to teach you about yours, and in that story, he went to hell first. So even if we all got to go there, we can always escape. We can always escape the oppression. We can always escape the thing of feeling like we're stuck. And on top of that, like you said, if you want to go be in the closet and be stagnant and be stuck and be fear-based, that's fine because that's your life. That's your life. But I have a choice. So I appreciate the Stevies of the world. I appreciate the Hopes of the world. I appreciate the Madisons of the world. I appreciate the Laverne Cox of the world. I appreciate people who walk in their truth. And what we're seeing now is that some of y'all don't even know what the truth is. Don't try to dim my light because you ain't checking your bug. And going back to what you said, I'm going to add this on top of that. You protect your peace, and peace is also made of steel too. Two things can be right at the same time. So protect your peace and also make sure your peace is made of steel too. Okay, so this is very deep. And every time we have these conversations, I, I have so much passion because I get to connect with other people who know what's going on. And the world is getting scary to where you have to build community. Because what's coming, if we don't get our shit together, we're going to really have to learn how to survive. And I hope y'all ready for that.
Black people as a whole, it is time to wake up.
Yep.
Times are changing. Things are changing. Let your child have their own identity instead of trying to force feed what you believe. I was watching a show called What Would You Do? And they gave a boy Barbie. You know, growing up, boys were taught to play with G.I. Joes. Girls will play with Barbies. Barbie is for everybody. And I love how inclusive she is. I mean, they've got a Barbie who's disabled. They've got a Barbie who has freckles. There's so many versions of her. And what I love is how inclusive it is. Keyword inclusiveness. So to the homophobes out there, to the transphobes out there, I hope you're paying attention because the world is definitely changing. We're not going to stay stuck and stagnant in the same place that you are. People are going to evolve with the times. And back to my point about the child playing with the toy, parents were saying, oh, well, he shouldn't be playing with this. He shouldn't be wearing a tutu. He was wearing a tutu and they gave him Barbie doll. And they're just like, well, why can't the child play with this?
Right.
Why does he have to play with a G.I. Joe? Let him decide. It's just a toy. It's just a Barbie doll. It's just a toy. Let the child decide what they want to do. Children have a very vivid imagination. And trust me, believe they're smart than you think. You tell them not to touch the stove, they're going to touch the stove anyway. So let the child be a child. Even when it comes to Zaya Wade and people giving Zaya so much flack, I love how authentic she is. She's overcome all the adversity, all the ignorance from Bootsy to everybody out here. No, she's just saying, respect my pronouns. Respect me. I'm human too. That's all she's saying.
She has a loving Black mother and father too.
Yeah.
Notice that. I just want to point that out. Notice that.
Both parents.
Both
be
parents.
Open. And the mother was like, well, I didn't sign up for this. The Zaya's biological mother, Zaya's other mother, was out here and she was just like, well, trying to do some things with the courts to get custody back from Dwayne Wade. I'm just like, let her be happy. Let that girl be happy. Let her embrace who she is fully. She's happy. She's living her best life.
And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure, and I'm just going to say allegedly here, but if she were to get Zaya back, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be to love and affirm Zaya. It'll probably be able to get the money that come along with Zaya. See, it's not even about Zaya. It's about the money. You see how family can do? Just this shit deep. It's very deep, but there are people who have the wherewithal and who have the long suffering to do the work. So my thing is, I feel like, and just to remind us individuals who are doing the work, to keep doing the work. This is all being recorded. This is all being etched in history to where when people look at this shit years from now, they're gonna be like, wow. It if there's anything to look back at, because the way the world getting, it's like the new
Right.
world order finna come, revelation finna happen, bitch. We all finna go. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like at the end of it all, regardless of what happens, and I want people to know this, and especially the queer community, especially my trans sisters, you are never alone. Don't ever let somebody tell you that you don't belong and that even God disowns you. And if they say that, them hoes don't know God, because it's a personal relationship. You continue to live your life, and I promise you, even though shit gets hard and difficult and tough sometimes, because you will have trials and tribulations, there are people in the world that you don't even know yet, people that you meet online that you haven't physically met yet, who will root for you. You got people you don't even know who need you in their life. You got to live long enough to see it. And when you were talking about the children, it's true. The reason why the children, everybody's coming for the children, because they're the next generation. The next generation. And we've continued these cycles for generations. When is the hope and the dream of the slave going to manifest? When? When does freedom actually happen? When? It just takes a particular generation to come together and rise up, which is why the older generations, these I hate to say it, old fossil ass people, no shade, girl. We all, hopefully we can live to that age, because Americans is dying at younger ages now. No shade, because of the shits in the food or whatever. This shit's really deep. But it's imperative that we try to educate our youth to not be afraid. Because when they're not afraid, they'll be able to make the real changes. And if we don't do our part, all of us collectively now, there may not even be a world for our children, for the next generation to be in. And imagine the guilt and shame and karma that we gonna have to deal with. Because look, being a Christian ain't gonna save you, boo. Your pastor ain't gonna save you, boo. Ain't nobody gonna save you but you. But people not ready for that conversation. They love the surface level conversation because everybody's scared, and I get it. But you're gonna have to come out your fear. If not, your fears will eat your ass up alive. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. There's a way to fix it, but it takes love. But it starts with you. So, but I'm gonna live my best life. Queen Stevie gonna live her best life. She gonna manifest all that God has for her in front of all of y'all faces. And I dare any one of you motherfuckers try to do something like that. Because, bitch, even though I may not be where you at, I can light a candle. I can learn some metaphysical shit, bitch, and fuck it. Don't look, you are protected. You are protected. Understand that. You are protected. Thank you so much. You are loved. We appreciate you. We thank you for all that you've done. Again, if there's any future critiques in reference to what we can do in the community to be better for you, please let us know. We're gonna build community. So I thank you for all that you've done. You over here interviewing me like I got millions of subscribers or something, but you see something in me, and I appreciate that. So even though it's tough, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
It's been heavy on us as LGBT people for the past few days, and it's just like, how can I not tune out to what's going on?
Right.
Seeing it on the news, seeing it scroll as I scroll down here on the gram, and it's something new every day. Somebody said something crazy. Somebody said something ignorant on the podcast or the radio, and I'm just like, can we catch a break? When is enough of us gonna be enough? Enough of attacking LGBT people. We're not doing anything out here but existing.
Yeah.
And going to Subway or to Starbucks and to get some coffee, living our best life. And all of a sudden, we're not even in the room, and you're bringing us up in a conversation.
Right. Time is definitely gonna tell, but this is a different age. It's the age of Aquarius. Shit finna be really different for everybody. Everybody. And we gonna see, because we gonna see who the real free people are and the real fear-based people are. And y'all gonna gag at who it actually is. Y'all gonna gag. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, see, I like these conversations. Come on now, yes. This was a highlight of my day. Thank you. Yeah.
Anytime. I'm
Yes, yes.
so glad. I had such a great time just chatting with you on that because it's been on my mind heavy. And
Right,
I seen your video last night. I didn't get a chance to come in. Like I said, I was knocked out sleeping, and
right.
I went back and I watched some of the replays. I'm gonna finish watching
Okay,
it again. It's
awesome.
pretty lengthy, and it talked about Hope Giselle, and I watched her live as well too. And I said, yes, everything that I'm thinking she basically said. But homophobia has been around in the hip hop music industry for years.
Yeah.
And there was a whole conversation around the word pause. I don't know why straight black men still say it. Again, stuck in that stone age. Just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go. Your child could possibly. What shocked me is Bootsy's daughters in the community.
Yeah, yeah.
So how could you talk bad about the same community when you have to support your child?
Because it's his child. It's okay to make an exception for your child when not everybody else. And on top of that, his daughter is lesbian, so that's more accepted. Now, what would have happened if his
Oh yeah,
son? It would have been a different conversation because he's trying to push P on his son right now. Even got a grown woman
yeah.
to come in and give his young son fellatio, but yet we're grooming the
Hired
children.
a prostitute to sleep with his 12-year-old son. We need to talk about the sexualizing of black and brown boys
All
and
of it.
how you guys try to get these young boys, these young black boys, with older women. There really needs to be a conversation had about that. Another example is Carisha backstage at Rolling Loud. You making it rain. Your son is out here literally making it rain. Y'all are applauding this young boy for making it rain on strippers. Blueface, you putting strippers in front. He's just going to the cabinet for a juice box and some cookies,
Bare ass
and you
cabinet.
throw some tail in his face. We need to talk
And then when you don't
about
look at it, you gay. You must be gay.
But Blueface, wasn't you sitting around with some of the gays at the Bad Boys Dallas, or was it Bad Boys on Zeus? One of these premiere outlets. You were sitting next to some of the gays. But you're willing to tolerate us, but you're not willing, like I said, to pull up for us. So you're willing to tolerate us, but you're not willing to sit or pull up when we really need you. Hip hop is deeply rooted in homophobia, and we I can't believe that we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of hip hop music. It's been around for years, but shout outs to all of the LGBT and queer artists. Um, Neo's out here saying it's expensive. That's why he didn't go to Renaissance. No, the main reason why is because it's a celebration. And I said this in my stories. Renaissance is a love letter to us as LGBT and how much Beyonce appreciates us and just accepts the fact that we are living, breathing, and existing. And she knows how hard it is for us going out here on a daily adversity and challenges that we face with just walking around being our true selves or being told we have to tone down because that's not, you're doing too much. But Bootsy going to hire a stripper or a prostitute for his son is that too much?
No, because it's heterosexual. We understand what it is.
Heteronormative?
We understand that they want that. They don't want any of what our reality is to be on them because again they understand all the shit that comes with the homophobia and queerphobia that they say that does not exist. And we're the mentally ill ones.
Oh yeah, that's another thing they say about us too is that we're mentally ill.
We're the mentally
Um,
right.
when did you discover that you were straight and that you liked women? At what age did you discover that? Did you discover that you liked women? And that's to some of the straight men. At what age did you discover that? Or when did you discover the urges? Or feel the need that you had to touch or be with a woman? What age did you discover that? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing for us as LGBT people. We know automatically at a young age that something is off about us. And for me, it was 13 years old. My mother asked me, she said, do you like boys? At that time, do you like boys? And at first, it's because mothers know everything, motherly instinct, they know everything. She said, don't lie to me. She said, you're my child. I appreciate you and I love you. And I'm not going to treat you any less. I have 6 siblings. two sisters, and four brothers. And out
Mm,
of all, six of us all together, out of all of my siblings, the one that really, really needed the most attention was me because I was different. I knew something was different about me at a young age. And that's for any child that's growing up in the LGBTQ community.
yeah.
But to the straight man, that is the $1 million question. I would love to know, when did you discover you like women?
Mm-hmm.
And why are you trying to force grown women onto your young sons? Why is it goes back to what Bubs just said, which is heterosexuality, normative. It's it's normal. It's okay. And another thing Young Jock said, he said, I will perform if it's two at a lesbian, if it's like a lesbian pride. There's no such thing as just a lesbian pride. Its pride is LGBT. And that includes every part of the LGBTQ community, every
Mm-hmm.
part of the
Mm-hmm.
rainbow, not just lesbian.
Right.
But, but
And on top of
we
that, you
we
would be over there in the lesbian thing trying to get up in there. And so you wouldn't be honoring them because they're lesbian. It's like, oh my God, now I have the opportunity to finally get me two women. Because when it comes back to your homophobia and the double standards, when you said about the hip hop community, when it's two women doing it, when you have
it's
female
okay.
rappers that talk about, I like to get my shit ate. Oh my God, that shit sexy. You see men be like, yeah, what's better than one female, two? All that type of stuff. It's like, it's the double stand. Y'all just homophobic. Just say it. Since y'all so strong and so powerful and courageous and y'all real in y'all manhood, stand in your manhood and say what you mean. And mean what you say. Don't be trying to do all this around the way type of stuff when we know what it is. I would respect you if you just say it. But some of these niggas
And
not worth respecting. Sorry.
some of these shows out here, they showcase, oh, one man, two women, because that's some straight black men's desire.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who think like the blue faces, the boopsies. That's their desires, to be with two women.
Mm-hmm.
But these two women are into each other. They're not into you. So
That part.
you're not gonna be the third wheel. And I
You don't
remember
know.
the baby and Raven went live, and he was just like, "Well, I can change you." She's already made her mind up. She desires another woman. She doesn't desire to be with you. And that's the thing with some of these cis hetero black men, these straight black men. Some of them heterosexual black men. They go out here and they think that, oh, I can do this to this woman. I can make her change me. There's a comedian out here does skits talking about my stud best friend and how he lusts and desires over the lesbian woman's girlfriend. I cannot remember his name. I know he does comedy
Mm-hmm.
skits out here, and I'm just like, yeah, straight black men, your egos. Some of your egos are very, very fragile. Very
Mm-hmm.
fragile.
Very.
You can't take rejection because you feel it's a bruise to your ego. It's a
Mm-hmm.
bruise to your pride.
Right.
And you can't take that.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Question.
yes. Let me see. It's a gay boy in jail posted screenshot of Blueface asking to collab for OnlyFans. Oh, I didn't know that. See? But it goes back to that question. Would you come and perform at Pride for 250K? They gonna want a price point. There are performers out here that are in the adult business that do G4P, gay for pay, and they do it. They go back to their girlfriends. Some of their girlfriends are okay with it. They don't mind. It's about
Yeah.
boundaries. But when it comes to this homophobia, deeply internalized homophobia and transphobia, it's because we're not willing to learn. When it comes to Blueface, if you look at his mom made a statement about, well, why don't you get with my son? She was referring to Meg the Stallion and the trauma that happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
She said, well, why don't you get with my son so she can have more trauma? You're the problem, ma'am. You,
Wow.
you're the problem, ma'am. You're the problem. Children pick up everything that their parents do. And it's that cycle. That cycle will continue on and continue on and continue
Right.
on until it's broken. It needs to
Right.
be broken.
Yes, it does.
It's
It
on
does.
Bigo bad. And some of them on Bigo are, except for Bubs. and a few others that I've met on there. That time I was on there, I left back in June. I said I'm never going back after I seen the culture of y'all putting people's personal health status out there, personal information. I said y'all going way too far. I
It's
said
just it's just the gay it's just the queer version of the beef sector on YouTube.
yeah, y'all
Bunch of
pull
hurt hoes, hurt
up
hoes.
in each other's houses. Y'all they do the most. I said after I seen that, I said oh, had a nice family and everything. I got to get out. That's my cue. I am about to take the Tony Braxton approach up. Let me get my purse. Let me leave.
Okay.
And that's what I did. I left back in June.
Yeah. All right.
I, 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 I will never understand for the likes of me. Why is it that black straight men think that we want that? And again, I want you guys to take that question into consideration. Um, when did you discover at what age that you figured out that you were straight and that you liked women? Because LGBT people, we know automatic when something is different about us. But for you, at what age did you discover that you were straight? And Blue is going around saying he slept with Meg. And K. Michelle said this. They do that to women in the industry, in the business. It's patriarchy. It's misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to what me and Bubs talked about earlier, which is ownership.
Yeah.
If I can't have you, no other man or nobody else can have you. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just gonna go ahead and call you mine, or I'm just gonna go ahead and say I hit it first, or I slept with you. And the woman has to go through hell and back to say this never happened. Nobody ever believes the woman.
Because a lot of men believe that women's only objective in life is to cook, clean, wash everything, smile, grin, hand your man a pen so he can write your check, paying all your bills, and you give him the coochie and say, ooh, how does that feel? I've been on a panel where there was men talking about the reason why they get money, the reason why they want power is because with power comes pussy. So now when they finally get it, then all of a sudden they want all of it. They want all of it. But you say that that's the goal. If women really want to mess y'all up, they would just you. They would have more. That means they have more power over you, right? I mean, we all came out of one, right? So I guess the power source is there. Not for me though, because my I, I like the boy version of. Okay, I'll just say the boy version. But anyway, like they want that because again, it makes them look like the man. Like I'm the man. We have strip clubs so that people go to splash money and say that I'm the man, I'm the man, and then get mad when you have people like Saucy Santana who actually know the strippers in there. Who when he comes in, oh my God, girl, I ain't got to worry about being touched. I ain't got to worry about being groped. I ain't got to worry about all this other stuff. I feel like I'm on break with Saucy Santana, and he paying me more than some of these bum ass niggas in here who be touching me. But when he comes into the strip club, all of a sudden it's a problem and it's an issue. You bringing that gay shit in here. You're right. It's toxic masculinity, not divine. A lot of these people are walking in toxic, low vibrational, ignorant, and fear-based energy, and it stems from telling little boys to not tap into their emotions because they can't even connect with their female peers, whether it's platonic or romantic, and can't really grow in that relationship because you're cutting yourself off and you feel like or you've been told that the only way you can connect to the feminine energy is through sex. That's that's what we're teaching young boys, which is why they grow up to become blue faces. They grow up to become the bootsies. And we sit up here and say that's okay as long as they're not gay. As long as they're not gay. That's okay. The gay is gonna keep stunting on y'all like we've been doing. And like fucking Daniva said, when he does have a conscious moment, because he has a few, the reason why we keep winning is because y'all keep losing. That's why. I'm sorry, I'm just on a different type of energy. Like I'm ready for some solutions. I'm ready for some solutions, and I have some. I'm just ready for a change. It's due time. It's due time. We deserve to walk in our truth in a way that's not controlled by the other party. Let me live my own life. You worry about living yours. Point blank. That should be the main priority. But this is planet Earth. It's ghetto. It's hell. Scotty, please beam me up.
That,
Hey,
At the
God.
same here. That's what I said. I'm literally like an alien. They don't
Hmm.
see us as that. They don't see us as anything but just that.
But we're learning, and I'm grateful that, like you said, we're all waking up. That you can see me that way, but that's not what I call myself. You can deem me that. That's cool. I know who I am, which is why I could walk in this world and be myself. Just don't put your hands on me. That's all I ask. At least for me. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You can call me the F word. I don't give a damn because I have a choice on what it is that I respond to. But once you overstep your boundary from verbal to physical, I already got bullied and jumped and my ass whooped and all that stuff as a child. I'd be damned if I'm going to go through it as an adult. It's going to be very different up in here. So, yeah.
We got some work to do.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But thank you so much for, again, giving me the opportunity and just willing to check up and see how I'm doing because I've kind of been doing my own thing. So it does feel good to kind of have brief moments to have conversations with other people. And I definitely wanted to talk to you, especially with what's going on right now with our trans sisters. And like I said,
Yeah,
I want to do whatever I can to make it better for my trans sisters because I do believe in community. So this gives me an opportunity to do that. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it with your
you are
red
so welcome.
hair and all that stuff, looking good and stuff. Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, fashion dolls, Bubs. Let everyone know where they can follow you at.
Yes. Of course, you can follow me. Of course, here on Instagram. If you ain't following me, hit that follow button. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do my lives very sporadically, and like Queen mentioned, they are kind of lengthy, but it's so much to talk about. That's why I want to get people together so it don't have to be so lengthy. Like, let's deal with it instead of doing what we've been doing or whatever. So you can reach me on there. Also on TikTok, and Rumble. Everything social media is Bubs the God. Everything is Bubs the God. So yeah, come on over and see what I'm giving.
Definitely go and check out the platform
Thank you.
and the conversations.
Yeah.
All right, fashion dolls, joining me next week. We have my girl Tina Marie, and we're going to talk about our favorite fall fragrances. So make sure you guys tune in for that next week. And my birthday, the very special guest, we have 10 more days till Halloween, our birthday
Okay.
spectacular. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I'm excited. All right, everyone, you guys be safe and enjoy your weekend. And this conversation will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime, and it will be up so you guys can catch the week.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. It was great catching up with you.
Yes. Yes. And I hope I see you in my comment section soon. I'll be going live tomorrow. So
I will
definitely
be
come through. We having a
there.
very interesting topic tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
It's accountability now. We about to tell our stories about what we've been through. Since they telling they, let's tell ours. So yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Bubs the God. Take care.
Bye.
I just froze.